Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? All right, let me know if you guys can hear my voice. Let me see if you can, let me know if you can hear my guitar. Hello, 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 everybody. I'm just gonna play the guitar for a couple minutes here as you guys walk in. Yeah, I'll play a little guitar towards the end. Thank you. I'll play some guitar towards the end. We'll do a little bit of guess that riff at the end of the stream, and then as you guys come in, we'll sort of get started here. How's everyone's day? Tesla is down a lot. Have you seen it? Oh boy. All right, let's see if we could. Let's do a little easy one for you guys. If you don't know that one, oh boy. All right, I'm gonna put this away as we're gonna get started here. Ugh. Smoke on the water. Okay. We'll do that. We'll do that later at the end of the stream. Yeah, man. Tesla's down a lot, isn't it? Let me pull it up on the other screen. Okay, I think my voice is there now. Technical difficulties. Please let me know if that's the case. It should be there now. Just confirm for me if you don't mind. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, guys. It's like I was trying to build this, get the guitar hooked up to, so that sound is much better than last time because I have this thing that connects directly to the computer. And so now the sound of the guitar is going to be much better, but I forgot to turn on my voice on some of these settings. But anyway, yeah, so short term is very interesting. Me being a long-term investor, this is just more for learning for me. Like, yeah, my account's down, but who cares, right? Long term. So I'm not really sure where we're going to go. So from here, it does seem like there's a lot of fear and nothing has changed really drastically with Tesla. If anything, they've gotten quite a bit better since about October 21st. You know, they came out with Q4 earnings, which blew everything out of the water. So this trend line, I think, is just purely macro. It has nothing to do with Tesla. So if you think Tesla's going to go up in the future, not investment advice, seems like a good price to get in, but you guys kind of decide what you want to do, right? So for those that are in pain today, I saw Doge Nation, you started the stream by saying you're down quite a bit today. I'm sorry to hear. But yeah. I hope it turns around quick. And if you have a long time horizon, then you guys are going to be in good shape. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good to see y'all. David, I can see your question. You just have to type it once, bro. I got you. You just type it once. Do you think Tesla needs to build another factory in China? I don't know. I mean, need is a interesting word. I think depends on the demand, right? If Tesla has a long-term sort of time horizon of becoming the biggest car manufacturer in the world, I don't know if one factory in China is going to make a lot of sense. If the maximum capacity of the factory today, let's say long-term is, I don't know, 2 million cars a year, let's just assume that's the case, with expansions or whatever, then that's still, and if they're shipping 20 million cars a year in 2030 or whenever Elon's goal is, then China would only be 10% of the demand. And that doesn't make a lot of sense because China is the largest global manufacturer. They have the largest car market in the world. So one factory ain't going to do it. So it depends how long your time horizon is. I'm sure they will, but I don't know if that's next year or 5 years from now or 10 years from now. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, David, you can stop asking now. I got you. Hello, Cindy. Good morning from Australia. Very good. Welcome to the stream. Hello from Austin. Director of engineering apparently left at Tesla. Okay, yeah. If that's the case, people leave Tesla quite a bit. There's a lot of tenure folks, but 100,000 people, you're going to have quite a bit of turnover from place to place. So, not surprised to hear. I'm not sure who that is. We can look him up later, but yeah. Not an important buying opportunity. That's specifically to the stock price. Yeah, I agree. I think it is a good buying opportunity. I think especially if you have a long-term horizon, again, it's a very good buying opportunity. So my average is about 980, Oscar says. That's good. You're down right now, but you got in. You got in before it was 1200, so that's positive, right? I think 780 was 300 EMA. Yeah, again, those things, those trend lines or those supports, I guess, are interesting to think about from a short-term perspective. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like those sort of moving averages, that's what MA stands for, moving average, are more tailored for short-term moves. But if I'm wrong on that, please correct me. Long since 2013, so I'm used to the pain. Yeah, I'm right there with you too, man. I've been in it since 2012, and there's been so much volatility that, like, what's been happening lately, it's like, okay, all right. Usually it's drops like these would happen in like a span of a week, and this has been sort of like a slow bleed in the last few months. So it's not a huge thing that I really went from. Short-term blip on Tesla. When you're changing the world, it might take longer than a day. Exactly. That's right. When you're doing really big, risky things, you're going to encounter things that are going to be unpleasant from time to time. It's not just going to be smooth sailing, right? So, what was the most difficult problem about working at Tesla that you had to overcome, and how did you do it? Yeah, there were multiple ones, honestly. What I can talk about is, man, I talked about this in my last stream, but as a summarized version of it is, we had a very manual process that wasn't really improving quality, and it was designed to improve quality. And I helped design from scratch something that made both the quality and the speed of that process much, much faster. And it would work crazy under pressure because we had to get parts out the door really quickly. And it was received really well, and it worked great. So that was an awesome time, and I was very happy about that. So in my previous stream, I talked more about that. I'll try to put some timestamps in my previous stream so you can find it. But yeah, it was crazy painful, but it taught me a lot. Can you please consider an interview with Ken, Chicken Genius? Yeah, actually, I shot him a DM on Twitter, I think. I can't remember, but he's somebody that I've watched his videos, and I find him very fascinating. So I hope to talk to him sometime. If you guys want to mention my name from time to time, feel free. What about Berlin? There is a chance not enough water for Tesla there. I don't know. I highly doubt that Tesla, the Berlin factory, it's a done deal. It's just bureaucracy. That's some countries just have a lot of bureaucracy, and it takes longer than usual to get stuff done. So. Any suggestions how I can get friends and family to wake up and buy some damn Tesla? Recommend them YouTube channels of the folks that you like to listen to. Sort of talk about your experience, but ultimately it's up to the individual. If they don't think they want it, then it's up to them. It's hard to convince people when they're set or are not willing to change their minds. And I don't know if that's the case with your standpoint, but just stick to your guns, and when they ask about it, bring it up, and just take it from there. Hey Vishal, how you doing, my friend? What about Berlin? Oh yeah, I already answered this question. Yeah, David, I got you, bro. You just have to post the question once. I got you. Man, that's so funny. Would Powell drop Tesla to 500s on interest rate hike in March? No idea. Short-term price movements for Tesla, again, I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not an investment expert or a market expert. I think you can make the argument that if the current market conditions are dictated by what the Fed is doing, then theoretically Tesla would follow suit. But the question becomes, at what point does Tesla decouple from the market and people start buying Tesla as a value stock or something that they feel is significantly cheaper than what the market's offering, right? So again, but that's not investment advice. It's just how I think about it. So I don't really think about it. I let my stuff ride, and we'll see where it goes long term. What's your take on potential hacker attacks on full self-driving? What is Tesla doing to avoid that? How can we make sure our cars won't be controlled by hackers and cause problems? Yeah, I mean, that's a constant thing that I'm sure Tesla's focusing on. I believe not too long ago they brought they got a bunch of hackers to try and hack their software. You guys correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think I think just Tesla really working alongside that group and focusing on software like they always have will give them the best chance long term. Now, Tesla is the best software company in the car market by far, and that's not even a question. So you would think that they would have the right expertise to potentially avoid a situation like that. And they hire the best talent in the world. So they have all the necessary tools to prevent that stuff from happening. The best chance in the world. Now, I don't know if that's going to be enough to stop it, but they're the best position to survive it if that were to happen. Hi, do you think the water supply situation in Berlin will set back Tesla's global expansion big time? Nah, I think it's going to be very short term, and I'm not really worried about it, to be completely honest. I just don't think it's going to be a big deal. It's just short-term noise. I commented some suggestions on your very first video, and I'd just love to see how you evolved. Oh, thank you, Leon. Thank you very much. Yeah, I always take feedback. If you guys have feedback from me, I love it. I'm always very big on feedback, and if there's anything I can do to make the channel better for myself and for you all, I'm more than glad to do that. Elon's conflict with the SEC administration, a short-term risk? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Like, it depends how much the SEC is going to leverage their position to try and, make Tesla seem illegitimate or bad for whatever reason, which might cause some investors to fear it. But after the 420 tweet and everything else that Tesla has survived, this seems like nothing. This seems like noise to me. If anything, I don't really see any negatives for Tesla. I see positives for Tesla, because if Tesla is able to show that the SEC actually did some illegal stuff and they leaked information and they potentially, did stuff that could harm Tesla, I think if anything, that's a big win for Tesla. But I don't see it being a loss for Tesla because they've survived that 420 stuff already. And all the worst stuff for Tesla, I believe, has happened when it comes to the SEC stuff. So, yeah. Tesla won't see 1200 for years. Yeah, I don't know. We just saw it a few months ago. You never know. I would love you to have an interview with Chicken Genius Singapore. Yeah, I agree. I would really like to talk to him. I really like his mannerisms. He just carries himself so cool. He's just very I don't know. I just really like the way he looks at life. He seems just like a really chill dude. He's at peace with himself, and he's also really smart. And that's the kind of people that I really find fascinating. So, Mansoor, thank you very much for the super chat, man. Appreciate your work, Farzad. Great stuff. Thank you, man. Thank you for the super chat. You're the man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You are awesome. Why are you so damn good looking? Oh my goodness. I don't ask my parents, bro. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know. Maybe ask my wife. I don't know. She's the one who married me. So I have some snaps from SnapMap on Freon Factory and saw that there were a health center and cafe with they were sleek looking. I liked it. They also give gifts too. Would you mind talking about those? Yeah, I mean, I think I was at the cafe while I was at Fremont Factory. It was cool. Like, you had a buffet selection. There was pretty good looking food, but I was there, man. It was maybe 2018, 2019. It's been a while. So maybe they updated it since. But yeah, it was a cool spot. It wasn't very different from what you would typically see in Silicon Valley or like these techie companies where they offer like these really cool cafe areas with like cool seating areas and everything you can eat. Not everything you can eat, but like pretty good selection of food and drink and stuff. So yeah, pretty cool. When you have a moment, worth checking out Connecting the Dots and Depths on GM, ASIC, and China ownership of GM's intellectual property and R&D of EV staying in China. Yeah, I actually watched part of that video and kind of eye-opening, ain't it? How the way the video outlined it was that GM essentially took bailout money and used that to develop a lot of expertise in China. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems like a improper use of our tax dollars in a way. Nothing against China, but if you're going to bail out a company with taxpayer money in the US, wouldn't you want that reinvested back into the US? I don't know. You tell me. Love Tesla to death, but this market will see another 30-40% drop. I don't know. We could, or it could rebound. I have no idea what's going to happen short term, but I just think that if Tesla gets too low, people are going to find way too much value in it. And mostly because of its ability to generate cash here in the coming quarters. I think quarter 2 is going to reinforce again just how good Tesla is at generating cash in an environment where cash is going to become more expensive because of higher interest rates. Why wouldn't you want to invest in a company that generates a lot of cash? I don't know. Might be a wrong way of thinking about it, but you guys tell me. In your journey as of late, how have you found things other than YouTube that are fulfilling? Oh, great question, Austin. Thank you. Very good question. I re-engage with reading a lot more. So I've been reading a lot of books. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I'm posting like a super small book review every like couple days. Seems like I've just been devouring these books. And that's been awesome. It's sort of keeping my mind really, really sharp and fresh. My guitar, I've been playing a little bit more, learning new riffs and stuff like that. So that has been rewarding. And what else? Oh, cooking. I've started cooking a lot more. Excuse me. Our neighbors asked us to keep their HelloFresh order the one day because they were away from they were away on a trip. And they're like, just keep it because we're going to be away for a week. Just make it. And then I started making the meals and I'm like, oh my God, I forget how fun cooking is. So we ordered another set of meals from HelloFresh. And I think I cooked the last 6 out of 7 meals that we put together. And that's been really fun. I just put on a podcast and I cook. So that's been super fun. And I really enjoyed it. Thank you for the questions. Great question. Everybody, great questions, guys. But yeah, that was awesome. That's been really awesome. And having the time, Elon said time is the most important currency, and it's so true. Having time is so freaking important. It's way more important than any money you could have in the world. I could go broke tomorrow, and I'd still be super grateful for the time that I'm having now. That's how much I value the time now. The hacker stuff is true. Also, usual way to make sure you have good security as a company. Okay, yeah, I think that's based on my previous comment around the hacker groups at the companies and stuff. Huh. If you Doge is that investment advice or no investment advice? Thank you, man. Thank you, Mansoor. March 2020, Tesla dropped to 500 and I bought 300 more shares knowing it would come back up. Think long term and you'll be great. Hold on, $2 for big dips. Yeah, I remember that drop was very, it rattled a lot of folks for sure. And I remember it was so March 2020 would have been right when COVID started, or right when everything started shutting down. And I remember everything. I mean, if we look at let's go back to the screen share thing and look at the 5-year chart. March 2020. Was it here? Yeah. Where you at, March? Yeah. So this is obviously pre-split, right? And then it exploded. So it went up to here. Then people are like, oh, COVID. Then it dipped, and then it just completely shot up. But again, previous trends is not indicative of future trends either. So we got to be, we also got to be careful with that. But Doge, I totally respect your opinion, my friend. What is your opinion about the Giga Texas having very large windows, allowing everyone to see the factory workstations? Ooh, interesting question. I sometimes wonder if Elon and the team did that on purpose so that it drives a lot of accountability for the team. And um, knowing how Elon has been very supportive of the drone footage and stuff, maybe they're crowdsourcing, holding the company accountable for doing stuff. I don't know. It could also be that, for workers inside, it's really nice to just being able to see a nice view, right? I think some of those windows point to the skyline, the Austin skyline. And Austin's got a cute little skyline, it's growing and everything. So I think it's going to be really cool for people. But yeah, I'm sure they don't have stuff. Like Tesla doesn't have anything to be afraid of when it comes to sharing stuff. Like they're so ahead of it. And by the time you copy what you see, you're going to be 5 steps behind because Tesla is already 5 steps ahead, right? So I think it's cool. I think it's going to be great for the people inside as well to kind of see the scenery. And I'm sure they have plans to build that area up as well so that it looks more beautiful over time. But it's already, I mean, it's nothing crazy. You can see the skyline, but, who knows? They might be able to do other stuff. Any comment on the rumor that Tesla will do its expansion previously planned for Berlin elsewhere? I don't think so. I think they'll do it in Berlin. They'll get through this sort of weird thing with the government, and they'll make it happen. But yeah, I don't foresee that happening. Because I mean, maybe they'll do it in the Netherlands because they do have a site there that's not everybody already knows this, but they have a site there already for service service centers and stuff. So maybe they'll do it there as well, but who knows? We'll see. What do you miss most about not being a Tesla anymore? Being surrounded by the most talented people in the world, and being faced with super hard challenges that you don't think you're going to be able to solve. It really brings out a lot in you. And when you're in those situations, it hurts like hell, and you don't want to be in them necessarily because it's so painful. But then in hindsight, you realize just how much those moments taught you. So I would say I definitely miss that the most. Would I do it again? Probably. Do I like what I'm doing right now better? Yes. This is a lot less painful and just as fun, in my opinion. Investing in October 2020 and seeing my money fall is tough. Your videos give me hope for the long term. Thanks, Dan. I mean, again, I'm not an investment person. I don't want you to sort of look at me as an investment person at all. But I can tell you that having been invested in Tesla since 2012, yeah, this hurts. But if you have a long enough time horizon of multiple years, the pain should be offset by rewards. And Tesla has done that multiple times for investors. Again, previous trends, not necessarily true for future trends, but if you believe Tesla is going to be a great company in the long term, it's worth. Time in the market is better than timing the market. People always say that. So just keep that in mind, and always do the research that you need to get yourself comfortable and confident in what you need, right? And what you need to invest in. Thanks for the great content, Farza. Thank you, Alvin. Thank you. With Tesla constantly improving their cars, doesn't this make it a nightmare to keep spare parts on hand for repairs? Oh boy, that's a super good question. Yes, it does. It's a freaking pain in the ass. It really does. It really is. Mainly because you have to really account for warehouse space for obsolete parts which are not used at the factory anymore. And we got really good at that over time, but it is a pain in the ass. But it's just a question of space, right? If you have enough space to store it, you're fine. But sometimes when you're growing 50% a year or sometimes more, the space is sometimes not there. So you got to get really clever. But yeah, I think over time, Tesla will get even better at that. They're pretty good at it now. You think about how many... That's one thing that I think people don't really think about. Tesla might only have 4 models, but you think about their continuous improvement for the cars for the last 10 years. They really have like 20 or 30 different cars out on the road with the different variations they have, right? So, and you have to keep parts on hand for servicing those cars. And just because it's called Model S, it doesn't mean that it's the same car than it was even last year, right? So that's a great question, and we did. That was you just have to keep up with the growth. You have to keep up with the changes, and the direct correlation to that is space. And so you have to grow space, or you have to become more efficient at storing those parts at these warehouses and service centers. So yeah, it was a nightmare. It became kind of a challenge. Then we got pretty good at it. And then over time, I just think it'll just be part of the business. It is what it is. Other car makers like BMW and everything, they do that, and they have, over the years, they've had hundreds of cars, hundreds of models, right? So Tesla will figure it out too. And they're doing a pretty good job, in my opinion. Do you think that Tesla will be at an all-time high when the first Cybertrucks are delivered? Yeah, I don't know. That's impossible to predict. I think Cybertruck is going to be a game changer for sure. I think people are underestimating its impact to not just the pickup market, but the car market in general. And I don't know what it's going to do to the stock price, but I think the Cybertruck is going to change the game quite a bit. And it's very exciting to see. No one else is working on anything remotely close to the Cybertruck. It's by far Tesla's most unique product. By far. And it's going to freaking stand out because of it. So that should have a lot of implications. What was the best decision you ever made in your life? Marrying my wife. Yes. Half because she's watching this, I'm sure. But the other half is because it's true. It's because it's true. She's helped me. Like, she's been so supportive of this YouTube thing that I'm doing now, and she's always really pushing me to follow my passions and to just get better, right? At those passions, and her feedback's always great, and she loves me unconditionally. So by far is marrying my wife. Aw. She better be watching this, because I want her to listen when I'm saying that. Damn it. Do I golf? Sometimes. I'm terrible. The worst golfer in the world, but especially in Texas. Like, I haven't really played golf in Texas. I used to play golf back in Pennsylvania. So I've been looking to buy a set of clubs, and I have to do that sometime. I got to do that sometime. I like to get back into it, but I'm freaking bad. Thanks, Mr. Misbahi. Love to see how humble you are. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate that, man. What languages do you speak? Yeah, so I speak English. Hello. Puedo hablar español. So I was born in Spain, so I can speak Spanish fluently, pretty much, but pretty rusty. And then I can also speak Farsi, extremely broken, which is the Iranian language. And I can understand it pretty well, but I can't read or write it. So that was sort of the language that my parents raised me with at the very beginning when we lived in Spain. And then as I went to school, I learned Spanish and all that stuff. And obviously they taught me Spanish as I grew up as well. So yeah, 2.5. It's really 3, but it's more like 2.5. What is your opinion on Elon and Tesla confronting the SEC head on? I like it. I think it's important. I think it's very important for Elon and Tesla to do that. The one thing that Elon and Tesla are very adamant on is about doing the right thing. Right? And so if they feel that the SEC has done things that are unfair or things that will have damaged Tesla, then they're obligated almost morally to go after that, right? I think some people will view it as a sort of like, it's messing up the stock, it's bad for the company short term, the image of Elon and Tesla. I don't look at it that way. I'm always on the side of truth and doing the right thing. And if they feel like that's the right thing to do, then I support them fully. And that's how I think about it. Positive news like Texas or Berlin official opening will definitely help stock a lot right now, but Ukraine crisis should calm down first. Yeah, I think the Ukraine thing is by far the thing that's right now, in my opinion, not investment advice. Ukraine short term is definitely the thing that's driving the market slower, right? Short term. And I think the Fed rate is probably going to be the next thing that's might keep the stock market down. But by that point, by the time Ukraine hopefully sort of subsides and goes away, that whole challenge that we're having with Russia and Ukraine, hopefully the market just rebounds, because they've been in such a deep correction territory now that it just goes up to where it should be, if that makes any sense. Again, not investment advice, but that's how I'm thinking about it. What are some books you've found most interesting to date, and what are your desired areas of growth in 2022 or on the next time horizon? Great question. I actually have examples for this. Why am I in this view? How come nobody told me? Let me switch this. All right. Okay. Thank you for the question. Well, first, check this out. Check out this cool little souvenir that I kept from Tesla. You see that? Isn't that cool? I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to return this, but I don't care. It's mine. Look at how dirty. Look at how dirty that is. Look at worn on the back. Look at that. One of the coolest things ever. I'm keeping this forever. Okay. So there's a book that I read a long time ago called The Innovator's Dilemma. This magical thing right here. And this one is awesome for if you want to understand what Ford and GM's and Legacy Auto's potential future is going to look like. This one's huge. The Innovator's Dilemma, huge to understand. So this is one of my favorite ones. I guess I reread it this year, but I'll just add it to the list. And then the other one that I read for the first time is 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. This one was extremely eye-opening for me because I've never seen a book or something outline what are the most important things that you need to build a business or something from scratch that is going to be extremely impactful. So that was pretty awesome. I highly recommend that book. Highly recommend that book. This one's also gets an honorable mention, The Price of Tomorrow, which talks about inflation or the impacts of the impacts of inflation and what the future is going to look like potentially because of technological changes. I believe, was that what it was about? I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, it's basically the rate of change of technology. So this one's pretty big. But those are my top 3, I would say, that I read this year so far. I also read The Art of War for the first time. That was a fun read. It's just, a lot of people are like, oh, you should read The Art of War. And I read it and I'm like, okay, cool. If you ever want to go to war, read this book, I guess. I don't know why you ever want to. But the cool thing is that it also has a lot of like different analogies and sort of metaphors you can use for, if you're trying to compete with somebody or something. It's pretty cool. This book's really cool too, Finish. It just kind of helps you get yourself in the right mindset that if you're stuck somewhere, you're trying to achieve things. If you start something, you're very bad at finishing them. This one by John Acuff is pretty good. And yeah, a couple other books too. But those are my big ones. Maybe I should create a book list or something so you guys can see what I'm reading. Tesla's job applications all ask what you have done exceptionally in related fields. Any suggestions for those striving to get their foot in the door? Yeah, I think... So I actually have a couple of videos on my channel that you can reference where I outline the things that, that Tesla looks for in an individual and how you can craft a resume that will help you highlight those things. So I highly recommend you check that out on my channel. But I mean, ultimately, I just think you just try to quantify all your impacts into either hours saved, dollars saved, efficiency gained, things like that. But there are videos on my channel that will help you more in detail. I would highly recommend you check those out. Faz, it's just a chill, good dude. Thanks, Doge. Glad I found your channel. Any idea when Starlink will IPO? What's your guess? Yeah, dude, this is something I've been thinking about for a while. I feel like they're kind of late on that. I think it would have happened already. To be completely honest, I don't know. I'm hoping by the end of this year or next year. I think maybe once they start once they reach a certain number of commercial or customers that buy Starlink for everyday use, maybe they'll go IPO, but I don't know. Or maybe when they really need to. Yeah, actually, I have no idea. I got to think about that more, but hopefully end of this year, sometime next year. Do you think the energy side of Tesla is underestimated? Australia just announced another big battery project with Tesla this week, and we're closing down coal-burning power stations years early. That's a great question. I think the problem is that nobody understands it because it's such a small part of the business. And I think over time, what needs to happen is that what Tesla needs to get itself into a situation where they can really grow that part of the business. And unless they do that, I think folks are not going to be, they're not going to be convinced that it's going to be a material part of the business. So I just think it's a matter of time. I think those that are invested in Tesla understand its true potential, but I like the parallel I draw to energy is like, think of Model 3 ramp back in 2016, 2017, and how everybody was like, and who cares? Like, it's not going to work. You're losing money on every car you sell. I think that's where energy's at today. So So it needs more time to kind of ramp up. And again, you have a supply shortage as well. But it works for Tesla long term because they're basically hiding the long term potential of the battery. Because all of us talk about the cars and full self-driving and everything. So I don't know. I think long term it's going to be massive, but it's hard for people to see that right now just because of how much more attention there is in everything else, every other part of the business, rather. Are you more bullish on Tesla if the EV tax credit doesn't pass this year because OEMs need it, whereas Tesla doesn't need? I'm wary that OEMs will get bailed out if they don't receive tax credit. Honestly, for me, the tax credit is completely inconsequential to Tesla. I think they have all the demand they can get, way more demand than they can get, and the tax credit will only make that worse. It's only going to make them even more demand constrained. If it helps other automakers get better, great. But for me, I don't know. I think for me, it doesn't matter. I don't even think about the tax credit. If anything, I think of it, Tesla specifically, I just think it's going to make their supply issues worse because you're just going to have longer wait times for folks. But if people want a Tesla, they're just going to place the order and wait. So. And it's going to make the value proposition even worse for other automakers because you have companies like Ford with the Mach-E that can take advantage of the $7,500 tax credit, whereas with Tesla you can't. But if it gets reintroduced to Tesla, then the Mach-E automatically becomes $8,000 or $7,500 more expensive, $7,000 more expensive rather. So, yeah. In the end, Tesla wins regardless of what happens. How can we order the GigaFest ticket on 4/7? I don't know. Call Elon. I have no idea. I'm curious to see who's going to get invited. I live in Austin, obviously, and it's funny because I have two accounts. I have a Gmail account and a Tesla account because when I bought my Model Y, I bought it with my Tesla account so I can get the full self-driving build before any of you guys got it. Haha. And my account's still tagged to that car. So I'm curious if I'll get some sort of like perk because I have an @tesla.com, but I doubt it. We'll see. But what's even more hilarious is that on 4/7, we had a trip planned to go down to Florida, and if I do get invited to the party, I may have to move my flight. So I'll see. I'll have to ask my wife. Let's see if she's on board or not, because it'll be a bummer to miss it. But at the same time, we also really enjoy our friend's company, so we got to make a decision. Do you think Tesla can hit a $10 trillion market cap by 2032? Keep up the great work. I love your channel. Thank you, Adam. I actually have a video on my channel that outlines my price targets from today through 2035. And I believe by 2032, I have it at 10 trillion. But again, this is just me playing around. It's not financial advice. But I would be surprised if they're not at 10 trillion by then. But that's just my opinion. Do you think Tesla is misleading people sometimes? Like autopilot is 10 times safer than an average driver. Doesn't mean anything because it's highway versus highway city. Yeah, I don't think that's misleading. I think they always set conditions around their statements, and they're very good at that. I think sometimes what happens is that headlines or when folks report on it, they might omit some of these details around that data set or that point that they're trying to make. So I don't think Tesla is ever misleading. I think how it gets reported and how it gets interpreted could be misleading. So I do think Tesla pays a lot of attention when it comes to that detail. You cook too. This makes you even hotter. Thank you. That's funny. My wife's watching. Watch out. She's going to come for you. Read factfulness and lifespan. Okay. I'll have to add that to my list. Thank you. I appreciate that. Is Tesla going through headwind to open Giga Berlin? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any headwinds there. I just think it's bureaucracy, and that's what happens in some of those countries. It's folks just have a tough time getting some of these things going. Pete, thank you for this super chat, my friend. You rock. Thank you very much, Pete. You rock. You rock. Thank you very much. I appreciate you stopping by. If Elon passed away suddenly, what would this do to Tesla's ability to achieve its mission? Yeah, I spoke about this. I have a video that I just released where I outlined 6 risks that I think are important for Tesla to sort of get their heads wrapped around in the near term. And Elon's departure or death in the near term could absolutely materially impact Tesla and its mission. But I think that one thing we can't avoid or ignore is that Tesla team is incredibly talented, and they have a lot of people that are extremely good at what they do. And I'm sure Elon is thinking about the succession plan, right? If no one has watched Succession, by the way, on HBO, incredibly good shows. I think it's my favorite show right now. But I'm sure he has some sort of succession plan. And even though Elon's a very unique leader that's extremely, extremely good at what he does, I still think we shouldn't discount the kind of leadership that Tesla has. It would surprise some people. There's some very freaking talented people in that company, man. And yeah, it could definitely achieve hurt its mission, hurt its ability to reach its long-term potential. But I still want to give credit to the folks that are there. So I would put like 50-50 chance that they wouldn't be able to do it, but I'm optimistic. Are you Yang Gang? I was, man. I still am, I would say. I read his book as well, his most recent one. Forward. And the reason why I like him is because he's talked about UBI, and I do think that over time UBI is very important. So yeah, I do really like him. He brings a nice logical voice to the political landscape that's sorely needed. And yeah, I enjoy his opinions, and I think he's a good guy. How much do you read per day on average? Yeah, I try to. So the way I read, I guess, is it's sometimes I'll like read like a power read. I'll try to read through a book quickly to try and like get the substance. And Dave Lee is actually one of the main people that inspired me to do that. He has a series on his channel where he sort of helps people learn how to speed read. And for books that I'm like not super into, but I really want to get the gist of it, I'll kind of fly through them real quick. And then for the ones that really suck me in, I'll read every single word on the book. I would say on average, I probably read like, if I'm power reading, I could finish a book in a day in like 2 hours. And, it's a 300-page book or whatever. If I'm not, then if I'm just regularly reading, I'd probably read like anywhere between 50 to 100 pages a day. Just depending on what the subject matter is and how interested I am in it. I don't force myself to read because I don't want to hurt the habit. I want to keep it fun. So once it's not fun anymore, I stop. If that makes any sense. Hope that helps. Anthony, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the super chat. It's honestly mind-blowing that Tesla isn't like any company to exist. Truly 1 in 1 billion, in my opinion. I agree, man. It's so unique, and it's it's just great, man. It's great being part of that community. It has really been fun. So thank you, Anthony, for the super chat. You're the man. Appreciate it. In this case, Elon should make a black box with his ideas and concepts and theories. So if he dies tomorrow, Tesla can use AI to generate ideas from that black box. That's interesting, right? Just dump his brain into like a computer, and everybody can just read his mind. That's a good idea. What are your thoughts on UBI in the near future? Yeah, I do think UBI is going to be important. I think as the automation of jobs takes hold, people are going to have a tough time finding things to do that are of value to the economy. And one thing that we're going to run into, I think, is that what it means to work, the definition of what it means to work is going to dramatically shift. It's going to change, So I think UBI is going to be very important longer term for sure. Shorter term, I think there's some uses for it as well, in my opinion. But those, I don't know how that's going to survive in a political landscape where our deficit is so large. So I don't know. There's going to be some soul searching, I think, as a society to figure out when the right time is to get UBI going. We'll definitely need it at some point. I strongly believe in that. And then there's a series of videos on my channel again that where I talk about the Tesla bot's impact to the labor market and how UBI is going to have to be part of that equation at some point, right? Or potentially. So I think long term we're going to have it. Short term we should probably start thinking about getting it going just so we can trial it and take it from there. Not everyone can handle it. If friends, family members get wealthy and financially free, all of a sudden you ran in such an issues. Not everyone can handle it if friends, family members get wealthy and financially of all. Oh, okay. So meaning that once I just want to make sure I understand the question. So once I became financially independent, that I became, did I run into any issues with friends and family? I'm assuming that's what you mean. No, everybody was just very happy and it was great. It was great. I'm just thankful to be surrounded by really good people. And it's been really nice. It's been really nice. Any towns close to Del Val Gigafactory that have cheap rent? Del Val. So do you mean that's if you're referring to Giga Texas when you're saying that? I think Bastrop is probably a good place. Buda and Kyle is another one. Yeah, I would say Bastrop, Buda, Kyle, and then Hutto. Hutto might be a good one to look at. Let me show you on the. Yeah, so like if we go to, let's see, I'm gonna pull up Giga Texas here real quick so I can show you exactly which areas are good for to look into. So, okay, so here's Giga Texas. Hello, Giga Texas. So Del Val, okay, cool. So that's what you're referencing, the little area. So yeah, so Giga Texas is here. Manor is another good one. Manor probably has pretty good rents. So when I say, those rents are going to have to be compared to the city of Austin, because the city of Austin is pretty expensive in relation to the rest of the area. But Manor is going to be a good deal. Bastrop's over here somewhere, so Bastrop's a good area. It's just west about 30 miles. Buda and Kyle are down here. So this is Buda, and then Kyle is down here. So those aren't bad areas. And then you also got Hutto, which is up here. And then Taylor, I guess, wouldn't be that far away either. So Taylor, Hutto, and those areas are good ideas. Anything in here is going to be mad expensive. It's going to be mad expensive. You're going to have a tough time finding something affordable. So I hope that helps. No joke, 4/7 is my birthday. I need Elon to hook me up with a ticket. Yo, you got to hit him up on Twitter, bro. Be like, yo, give me my ticket. Are you worried about the Ukraine situation impacting the markets? I think it already has, I think markets usually try to price in worst case scenario when it comes to these things. I'm not 100% sure if this is going to escalate to a war. It seems like war would be a stupid thing. I think worst case scenario is that Russia gets what they want and the West just kind of can't do anything about it. And best case scenario is that they figure out some sort of compromise to de-escalate quickly and then move on. But I don't think this is going to be a war situation. In my opinion, it could be completely wrong, but we never know. In which ways did you see overlaps between Elon's companies while working at Tesla? Yeah, really the only one I saw is we shipped some parts to SpaceX for some things. But that was about it. And I can't talk much about that. So, sorry. I wonder if Putin read The Art of War. I'm sure he did. Dude, are you kidding me? I'm sure Putin reads The Art of War every night before he goes to bed. Do you sometimes struggle to finishing things? I sometimes get myself in a really good question, by the way. I sometimes get myself in a situation where I'm doing something and I don't really enjoy doing, and then I force myself to do it, and then halfway through I'm like, why am I doing this? And then I bum myself out because I'm like, oh, you can't finish things. When in reality, I should have never started it. You know what I'm saying? So I think my problem is that I start things that I shouldn't start. And my attention needs to be pointed more directly. I'm getting much better at that as of late. So I try not to beat myself up if I'm not finishing things. My question is always, should I have started this in the first place? And this is kind of like a first principles approach that I learned from Tesla, right? Should I have started this? Okay, I think that's a very valid question when you're thinking about if you're not finishing something. So I think that's a more important question for that specific thing. Adam, is a Tesla 0 to 1 moment solving full self-driving? I think Tesla's 0 to 1 moment was Elon starting not really because he didn't start Tesla, was Elon joining Tesla and then surrounding himself with the right talent to build the Roadster. That was really the 0 to 1 moment, in my opinion. And you can make an argument that Tesla has multiple 0 to 1 moments, right? So, but if you want to talk about the 0 to 1 moment that started all the other 0 to 1 moments, it's the Roadster, if that makes any sense. Let me know if you agree. Do they still have future plans for the Roadster, or has S-Plaid kind of taken its place? Can't imagine being much faster, or they need to. I'm 100% sure they'll come out with the Roadster. They have way too much money in reservations to just cancel it, to be honest. I mean, even though it's a small part of their cash reserves, I think Elon likes cool stuff anyway. I don't really think that gets replaced by anything. I think Roadster is going to be its own beast. Are there any Tesla YouTube personalities that you can recommend beyond the mainstream ones like Rob, Dave, myself, etc.? I'm not mainstream, bro. Thank you. Just putting me in that sentence. That's it reads weird. I'm not used to seeing my name next to these guys because I do respect them quite a bit. I do view them as quite a bit above sort of the level of work that I'm doing. But hopefully, eventually, I get there. I mean, I think I generally follow the same people that you guys do. I really respect Dave. I like Rob as a sort of news person, the news aggregator. He's one of my favorite ones. Stephen Mark Ryan, I really like his unique approach and how he's just so unapologetic about how he feels. I respect that a lot. I do like listening to Tom Nash. Tom is a little bit more widespread, but I do respect his opinion. I would say right now I'm kind of on the same boat as you guys, and I'm sort of monitoring other folks that are coming up on the YouTubes, and I forget half their names, and I apologize. But I would say my level of sort of who I watch is probably very similar to all of yours. And I do spend a lot of time on obviously building my channel and figuring out how to take this thing. So to be completely honest, I haven't had as much time looking into other people's YouTubes as I used to, because now I'm focusing on my thing because I want to bring you guys the best content I can, right? So I would say it's probably the same folks that you guys watch. But Dave Lee's very up there for me, and Rob I really respect and I watch often. And Stephen Mark Ryan obviously is a great one, Tom Nash and other ones as well. So Chicken Genius is another one that I watch as well, just because his videos are really short and they're random. And it's always like some sort of like fundamental way of thinking about something. And I always try, like, it helps me ground myself if I don't feel grounded. So what's your Rubik's Cube solving time? So my fastest one was 50 something seconds, I believe, 58 seconds. And it's probably way higher now because I haven't solved that damn thing in a long time. But I think one of these days, I think for the next stream for sure, I'm going to solve one real time in front of your face. I'll make that happen. Go Farzin, let's go. Thanks, Dix. Still doing the work thing, but wanted to drop a quick note. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. You better get that work done, man. You better get after it. When do you think the Roadster deliveries will start? Will they launch it with the SpaceX package on the Founders Series? Yeah, I don't know. I think next year is perhaps a good guess, for Roadster to come out, but I don't know how or what they're going to launch with. So, what are your thoughts on the buy, borrow, die method with Tesla stock? And hypothetically, what percentage would you draw each year to live on if your shares was worth 1.5 million? Yeah, I mean, I think, man, this one's a hard one to answer because everyone is so unique in their approach. The one thing that I've learned is that 1.5 million for somebody to live on could be so different from another person, right? Because you also have to think about their other income streams. Once they have all the time, what are they going to do with their time? Are they going to travel? Are they going to buy things? Are they going to create things that are going to earn them money? What's their standard of living? What are the things they value? Are they material? Where do they live? Do they live with other people? There's so many different questions. So this one I rarely answer, if ever, because it's so unique to everybody, For me, it's like I always have some sort of income stream going somewhere, and my goal is to never touch my Tesla shares. Sometimes I do because I either have an investment opportunity that I think at that time is better. But outside of that, I try to never touch them. So that's how I approach it. But again, it's so unique to the individual that I don't even want to. I don't want to influence anyone's opinion. I think if somebody really wanted to retire or like do nothing with, say, $200,000, I'm sure they can figure out how to do it. That just their living expenses would have to be nothing, and they would have to figure out how to generate a different income stream while they do nothing, right? While they live on nothing. So it all depends on what kind of life you want to live. Have you thought about buying a Gibson SG? Yeah, actually, I've been thinking about what that third one needs to be. That guy right here. What's that third one going to be? I don't really know what it's going to be, to be honest. Hold on, this thing keeps flashing. 1 second. Okay, my LED light's about to die, so my background might get slightly less orange, but that's okay. Yeah, an SG has definitely been part of my list. I think I'm gonna get a Stratocaster, because I want to get better at like more bluesy stuff. Right now, I've been so like one-dimensional with metal, then I want to sort of expand my taste a little bit, and I think a Strat, it would be a great option for me to sort of practice on to get that style going a little bit more. But we'll see. But SGs are dope with the little two horns. Sick. I live in Jarrell and live in an RV park, and it's $450 for rent. I just bought an RV because it pays for itself by saving on rent in this area. Brilliant idea. That's a brilliant idea, right? And if that's something that you're comfortable with, that's amazing. That is amazing, Anthony. Smart man. Do you think Elon Musk will stop being a CEO of Tesla and shift all his energy and time into SpaceX within the next 10 years? I think that's $1 million question. And, man, I don't know. 10 years is maybe. I think what's interesting is that Elon, I think the way he solves things is that he probably shifts his own goalpost of when he's going to leave because of what he deems is very important to work on. So like earlier on, I think he was asked this question like in 2015 or 2016, like, when do you think of leaving? He's like, I'm definitely going to be here at least until the Model 3 ramps, right? And then what ended up happening was that once he started working on the bot, he's like, this is by far the most important thing that we have to work on. And I'm not working on it because I want to, it's because I have to. So maybe now until the bot gets solved and it's like everywhere and there's zero risks of AI or very low risks of AI taking over the world, maybe that's when he steps away. But maybe in 10 years time, he finds something else that he feels like is incredibly important to work on. So I don't know. I think he has a shifting goalpost, and I think it's very hard to put a timeline on it based on that. With Tesla becoming an AI company, do you think he will sell the EV manufacturing business to someone like Apple? No way. I think if anything, Tesla will just become just a conglomerate of like all these different things. Tesla will just eventually make everything, maybe, and they'll. No, I don't see them selling anything. I don't see them selling anything to anybody. I think that if anything, they'll start buying other people to figure out how to. Put them to better use, I guess. I don't know. Up at Fremont 2019, I didn't see too many Tesla cars in the employee parking lot. As the stock price continued to rise, did you see more and more Tesla employees buy Tesla cars where you worked? Yes, I did. And that was one of the coolest things ever, was that the people that were working so freaking hard every single day were able to buy the things they wanted and to buy the things that they were very excited to buy. So we saw a lot more Model 3s and Model Ys in the parking lot. So that was super, super cool. Yeah, super cool. Honestly, probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen was people becoming more financially secure. A beautiful thing. What kind of discount do Tesla employees get on new Teslas? 0.00%. We buy it at the same exact price as you all do. The only discount we get is merch, and I think it's 30%. That's about it. That's why I have so much Tesla merch. It's because I got it at a discount. Best YouTuber ever. Thank you, Cindy Woon. I appreciate that. Best comment ever. Thank you. What is the lowest minimum wage at Tesla? I want to say, according to Glassdoor, it is $18 an hour. I don't know. It's heavily dependent on location. So California is going to pay quite a bit more than anywhere else in the country because it's so freaking expensive out there. I think it depends on where you live. I can't answer that question confidently, but it's definitely dependent on where you live. The Tesla Economist also has interesting content. He often gives interesting ideas. Do you know him? Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, I've seen his videos. I know Dr. Know It All, Knows It All is another one. Electrified's another one. Yeah, there's a lot of different folks on YouTube that do a great job, and Tesla Economist is one that I follow. I think he's got a Twitter as well. I think I follow him there as well. Once Tesla Semi are ubiquitous and running autonomous in convoys, how much effect on the cost of goods reduction do you expect? Dude, what a good question. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how much of this story I can tell without breaking my NDA. Because I'll give you a little bit of background. A lot of the work that I did in Tesla was trying to figure out how to make the service distribution network much more cost efficient. Okay. And so I was constantly trying to figure out how I can get a freaking Tesla Semi to test with routes for our logistics, right? Freaking stick a driver in there and just pull trailers and figure out what the cost savings are. Oh man, I'm just gonna say there's big numbers associated, and that's all I'm gonna say, because I don't know how much I can say and how much I can't say, but you only have to think about, like, if you save money on fuel and you save money on driver costs and you save money on insurance, and if Tesla gets really good at wear and tear, you save money on maintenance. Those rigs cost a lot of money to operate. And you think about how many different parts and cars get delivered and shipped from place to place. That's a big line item on the cost basis for any company, not just Tesla. So big numbers. I could probably tell you exactly what the number is, but I'm not going to tell you because I can't. Maybe in a year and a half, once my NDA is up, I'll divulge a little bit more. I divulge a little bit more, but yeah, I'm just out of respect for the company and my obligations, I don't want to say anymore. Are the 4680 production in line with your expectations so far? Yeah, I mean, I saw that they made their 1 millionth battery last month, which was a good milestone. I think Tesla has become really good at sandbagging. So they're probably ahead of where we think they are. And it's kind of hard to see how much progress they've made, but something tells me that the 4680 is going to surprise people by how quickly it's going to ramp. And so we'll see. We'll see if that's the case or not. But I guess to answer the question, is it within my expectations so far? Yes, because I expect them to be much farther ahead than people think. Do you and your wife discuss Tesla often? What do you talk about? Thanks for the great discussion. Oh, thank you, man. It comes up pretty often, for sure. You know, she's a Tesla fan herself. I think the thing with the SEC and the Tesla thing, where Elon's saying that the SEC leaked information about the case, she was freaking fired up about that. She's like, "What the hell? Like, people should go to jail for this." And I agree, if it becomes true, right? It comes up. Yeah, we talk about it probably every day. Something about Tesla comes up, and we talk about it. You know, we talk about a lot of stuff. We have a lot of really deep conversations very often. We try to sit down and talk about, you know, just what our goals are and how we want to achieve them and how we can help each other achieve them. And, you know, just really fundamental stuff about our relationship and how we want to change the world in our own way, right? Just a really, really thought-provoking, awesome conversations. And she's by far my favorite partner to talk to. Like, there's no one else I'd rather talk to constantly than my wife. And I think that's why I married her. Plus, she's pretty hot. So, that's secondary, but that's besides the point. People keep saying Tesla's has no competition. I live in SoCal. I see many EVs from other brands actually on the roads. What is your take on Tesla's competition? I mean, it depends how you define competition. Will there be other EV manufacturers? Yes. Do I think Tesla is going to become by far the most profitable and biggest one on the roads? Yes. So I don't think it's a competition. I think competition is a weird word for where we are with EVs. Every company is going to be able to eat into the ICE pie for the next 20 years at will. So no one's going to be stepping on each other's toes. Like GM is not going to materially impact Tesla's ability to sell products, whereas Tesla could materially impact GM's ability to sell its products because Tesla has a superior product, right? So if anything, GM and Ford should be the ones afraid of Tesla, not the other way around. It's very confusing how people always frame the competition sort of like argument. Like it's the other way around. Everyone else is making ICE vehicles. Anyone who's making ICE vehicles are the ones that are going to be at risk of losing sales, not Tesla. Tesla has a 100 million cars a year pie to in into, and they're just at 1 million. So they're 1% of that pie. And everyone else is that pie. So, sorry, I don't know if I'm yelling. I feel like I'm yelling. Sorry if I am. But I don't know, man. Yeah. The bigger question is like, you have to compare Tesla to the rest of the cars on the road, so not just EVs. You have to look at the entire road. So what else is on the road that's not a Tesla? That's Tesla's market, regardless of what the fuel source is. What do you think is the reason why Elon is going on for White House acknowledging Tesla? Highest consumer demand and highest evaluation. People who matter have spoken. Yeah, I think, again, Elon and Tesla are very, they value the truth and they value doing the right thing. And if they feel like they're not being treated fairly, they're going to speak up. And that's just who they are. That's just how it is. I think it's great. Personally, I think it's great. I think that should happen more often. I think if people really believe in something, it's like they should never be afraid of like rustling feathers or like not being properly recognized. If they feel very strongly about something, they should just do it. They should just say the thing that they feel. And Elon, in the end, is an individual. He's a human being who has thoughts and he has his own ways of doing things. He should be empowered to do those things, and I think it's great. Have you seen the Peter Jackson Beatles documentary? I haven't. I should check that out sometime. I worked in supermarket retail supervisor roles for 10 years. Would Tesla even look at my resume? Hell yeah, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your background is. If you can show any ability where you've helped something become way faster, way safer, cost a lot less money, and being able to do it with a lot less time, you will be looked at. I promise you. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter what you did. Don't let your previous title prevent you from applying to Tesla. Just be really good at describing why you are very good at solving problems and the things you've done that you can quantify that were directly responsible for solving that problem. What do you think of the lack of significant growth of Tesla Energy? Do you believe it will be bigger than auto one day? Again, this is a question of like supply constraint, right? Because the energy business is going to be very reliant on the same batteries that they use for auto. And so it's just a matter of time. I think it's just a matter of time, and it's very reminiscent of the Model 3 ramp. It could take longer than the Model 3 ramp to get to the point. But I think with the 4680 ramp this year and the different supplier contracts they have for batteries, I think 2023 is going to be a very different picture for Tesla Energy. They'll probably have more batteries than they know what to do with, to be completely honest, at that point. Hopefully, that best case scenario. So we'll see. And do I think it's going to be bigger than auto one day? The market seems larger, right? Because it's just energy instead of automotive. Energy powers a lot of things in the world, obviously. So who knows? Possibly. I think that's Elon has talked about it becoming bigger than cars, but we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. Excuse me. We've been an hour in. Is everybody having fun? I'm having fun. I have a standing desk. I think this is my first time. No, it's my second time streaming on this desk. So I got to remember to like move my knees from time to time because I like sit like I'm like locked in place with my knees. I don't want to do that. It's bad for your knees. Maybe I take a sip of water too. I forgot to fill this up before I got here. All right. Do you think Tesla will open R&D or engineering centers in Australia, New Zealand, or is it too far from headquarters or gigafactories? I think Tesla will open centers, R&D, and factories anywhere where it makes sense from a cost perspective to supply the local region. And so Australia is a population of what, like 30 million people? Let me see. Australia population. Yeah, 26 million people. So if half of those folks are in the market for a car and half of those folks end up buying a Tesla at some point in their lives, that's we can't do math. Half 15, 7 at some point in their lives. So it's probably like what, 1,000,000 cars a year, maybe less, 800,000 cars a year potentially. I don't know how big the Australian car market is, but yeah, I think if it makes sense from a cost perspective and a unit sales perspective, they'll do it. You know, over time, especially. So it's all about the time horizon. Maybe not next year, but maybe in 10 years. You never know. Elon brings so much focus on the real world, the atoms and manufacturing of real goods. On the other hand, Zuckerberg is trying to get us all into a digital space. What's your take on Meta? Ooh, great question. I love the way you've framed it. Meta is weird for me because I can see how that can be very valuable for folks that aren't able to leave their homes, that they're physically bound to their homes, right? They can't experience anything else outside of their home. There's a lot of value there. I don't know, man. I think it's still too early to tell exactly what Meta actually is going to be long term. There could be a situation where as work sort of diminishes and automation takes over and things like the bot and AI become more prevalent, you might have a transitionary period where people don't have enough work to do potentially, or they don't have meaning, or they don't have something to do in the physical world. And if Meta is available for them to sort of remove themselves from that hellish landscape of not being able to find work, there could be some value there, but that's kind of dystopian. So I don't know. I have to think about it more. I haven't given Meta as much thought as I should. I think my wife thinks Meta is going to be a big thing, and I actually should sit down with her and like kind of bounce ideas back and forth to see how we can land on a sort of something we both agree on. But yeah, I don't know. I need to think about it more. But right now, the connotations for Meta for me are negative, but it could change as I think about it more. So I'll get back to you. Great question. Could Tesla become its own country? I don't even know what that means. I don't think companies can become countries. I think Mars is going to be heavily influenced by Tesla, but I don't know if it's going to become its own country. Do you know James Jacques Fresco? If yes, do you think humanity will reach equilibrium in a couple of generations thanks to technology progress? I don't know Jacques, but that'd be cool. That'd be cool to learn more about him. I'll make a note to research more about his stuff. But yeah, I don't know enough about that topic. Great books, great takeaways. Thank you, Gino. Latest reads to share with you: Essentialism by Greg McCown and The Good Ancestor by Roman. Oh man, it's one of those Eastern European last names. Oh man. Narek? Thanks for all you bring to this world. Thank you, Gino. I appreciate that, man. That's very sweet. Okay, I'll make a note. I'll check those out. Thank you. And Elon also speaks on behalf of Tesla employees. I think, in a way, I think Tesla employees are also. It's interesting because I think Elon talks about more about on his behalf than Tesla employees, to be completely honest. And that's one of the cool things about how that company is run, is that people are allowed to be individuals, you know? But yeah, I could see that statement being true. Gary Black and other Wall Street Tesla bulls can't see the production ramp up further than 2024. Do you feel confident that Tesla can keep up their 50% growth year over year? Yeah, I don't know if Gary can't see it. I think Gary is concerned about Tesla not communicating broadly what their plans are. I think he can see it, but he's concerned that the broader market can't see it. I'm 100% sure they'll be able to keep 50% growth year over year. I think the whole like Model 2, like $25,000 car is not going to happen thing. It's like people took something completely out of context and they don't understand what he actually said. And so people are having a tough time understanding how they get to 20 million cars without the $25,000 car. In reality, like Cybertruck coming out next year, is going to get them well over 50% year over year growth for the next 3 to 4 years already. If you just do the math and you think about the penetration of Model 3, Y, and Cybertruck into their respective markets, it's obvious. So, yeah, I see zero issues. And then once the $25,000 car comes on board, look out. Look out. Finally caught up by listening to you talk really fast for 10 minutes. Thanks, dude. Hopefully it was enjoyable. Thanks for doing the streams. Do you think they'll implement the snake charger or just put a Tesla bot at supercharger locations? Whoa, great question. Probably the Tesla bot is going to be cheaper than the snake charger at every location, because the snake charger would mean removing, like, completely redoing every single stall charger in the world. Whereas a Tesla bot, you just drop off a bot at the location and he just plugs shit in, stuff in. Ooh, oh, sorry for those that have sensitive ears. My apologies. Yeah, I think Tesla bot's going to be way more economical. Way more economical. You just literally, I can just envision like a guy like in a Tesla just like driving to a supercharger, and then the Tesla bot just opens the back door, gets out, and then the driver just drives away. And then the Tesla bot's like, I'm here now. And the weird thing is when people might try to steal it, like, you know, because it's kind of small and it's not like the Tesla bot can't fight back. So like, what are the, like, now you have all these Tesla bots like chilling, unless they're like in a location where it's like enclosed. I don't know. That's weird, right? Because then you think about, okay, how do you make sure the Tesla bot doesn't get stolen? Because it can't really fight back, because that would be like, that opens up all kinds of hosts of questions about like morality and like, can a robot defend itself? Dude, that's, the implications of that question are crazy. We got to think about that more. Dude, I just have the image of a man of the Tesla bot getting dropped off is like the funniest thing ever. But yeah, great question. It will definitely be cheaper for them to do the Tesla bot, but people will want to steal that thing. So look out. Just want to say thank you for taking your time to respond to every comment. Thank you. No, thank you guys for posting the comments and coming and spending time with me. I should be thanking you. So thank you very much for your comment. And yeah, this is fun for me. So I appreciate that. All my friends who purchased solar didn't even know that Tesla offers solar. They may need to advertise that there's a bit of competition. Thoughts? I don't think so. I think Tesla's, the way they approach problems is always, to just make the product so damn good that it's way better than everything else. And I think eventually how they'll do that is through price. They'll just be the lowest cost solution, and then the best experience will sell the product. I think that's how they'll penetrate the solar market. Who needs a metaverse when you have Neuralink? Your brain already has some heavy-duty processing power, right? That's a great point. I think Neuralink could be very, very impactful. I'm getting a call from one of my friends. 1 second. Hey, let me call you back in a little bit, bud. All right, sounds good. Talk to you later. Bye. There you go. That was a funny little interruption. Where was I? Okay. Ouch, just noticed Tesla down a lot more today. Maybe now is the time to finally buy. Yeah, it depends how long your time horizon is. If it's really, really long, you should be buying now, maybe. Not investment advice, but yeah. Everything's down, right? It's not just Tesla. Everything's down. Is Tesla Pi phone a joke or real? Interesting you say that, because on the one Joe Rogan podcast, he mentioned how Elon's going to come out with a phone. And the one thing that I've been talking about with my friends and other folks, and I made a video about this, how Tesla could potentially make everything one day, is that if something has a battery in it, why wouldn't Tesla make it? You know, they're the best at manufacturing, period. They have the best talent in the world, period. They make the best batteries in the world, period. So why wouldn't they make a phone? I think it's real. I don't know if it's soon, but I could see it being real. I'm surprised Tesla hasn't tried to buy a chip manufacturing company or do it themselves. Seems like it would make sense, but I'm sure there is more to it than what one would think. Yeah, I think the way the thing Tesla has to solve for is like, okay, can they make something that's significantly better and cheaper than the current chips that would help them towards their mission? And perhaps they can't justify that. They're much better off with third-party suppliers. So if it becomes a humongous bottleneck for them, I'm sure over time they'll figure out how to do it themselves, but it's probably going to be a third party for a long time. When you were hiring at Tesla, did you ever have a resume that was too long or too short, or any crazy ones with links on photos? Oh, dude, oh my God. I can tell you so many stories about these. So the craziest thing about Tesla is that it's by far one of the biggest companies. It's a company that gets the most applications in the world from people. One of the biggest ones in the world. And the variety of stuff that comes in is sometimes shockingly, is this from a real person? Because sometimes it's like you know how sometimes you're on Twitter, on YouTube, and you get like a bot, and it's like nonsensical, and you read it like, how this is a bot, right? Sometimes a lot of these resumes were bots, right? But or they seemed like it was a bot. It seemed like people are just like they just want to write something down on paper and just send it out, and if somebody comes back to them, great. They just want to say, I have a resume, right? So we saw that sometimes, but Tesla does have a pretty good filtering process that came in after we had to deal with a lot of those resumes that got much better at just honing your attention directly into candidates that are likely to be the best fit for the company. And but there was always a variety of the types of resumes. So some were long, some were short. My thing as a hiring manager is that the longer your resume is, the more I have to sift through to find exactly what I'm looking for. And what I'm looking for is an exceptional ability to solve problems and a quantified way of measuring how you solve those problems, okay? So that's what literally this will help you with any resume you ever have to craft. That's what we're looking for. So those were always the ones that caught my attention. But we saw some weird stuff. And of course, out of respect for those applicants, I don't want to go into too much detail, but as far as the really good ones that we saw, that's what they were. They weren't too long. Like, don't be afraid to make a one-page resume that is specifically centered around how to get me the best information possible as quickly as possible. Don't worry about length so much. Worry about the substance. That's by far the most important. Australia has lots of sun. R&D for solar and lithium processing would make sense. I agree. I think Australia would be a great place for that. Do you think in the far future that worlds will be run by company software and access versus individual countries and governments? Elon does say government is essentially a large company. Yeah, that's something that I have to keep thinking about because that's a very big question. I think blockchain technology has the ability to potentially serve as a foundational layer for something like this to happen. But I need to think about it more to give you a good answer. Anything is possible, but let me think about it more. I'm curious. In my earlier comment regarding Elon speaking on behalf of Tesla employees, I was referring to his response on Biden snubbing. Okay, got it, Marcus. I appreciate that. Tesla bot will 100% have GPS backup plan. It just starts whipping people with charging cables if they act aggressive. Yeah, but like that's weird, right? Like a bot self-defense, but they're still attacking a human. So like, where do you draw the line? Ooh, such crazy questions we have to answer, you know? Do you think the Indian market Tesla is getting into is a play on FSD, AI, energy, or all three, or something else? Indians don't buy cars and use rickshaws, which Tesla says is unsafe. Thoughts? Yeah, I think Tesla, when they enter a market, they'll offer everything. I think perhaps the $25,000 car will be the solution for the Indian market when it comes to something that's smaller. So I don't know if that's small enough. Maybe they'll come out with a motorcycle. Maybe they'll come out with a rickshaw. I don't know. You know, I'm sure there are things that they're working on that would serve certain markets that are perhaps not, they don't have the same transportation solutions that, say, fully developed countries do. But if Tesla's goal is to move the entire world's consumption of energy to be renewable, then or through electric vehicles, then you would think that they would come up with a solution for that market as well. And I'm sure they're thinking about it. And that's perhaps one of the things that no one is really thinking about right now about Tesla is how they're going to enter those markets and the profitability of those markets, right? Because, yeah, you might have to sell them for cheap, but what are the profit margins are going to be if they become extremely good at pumping those out? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I would not be surprised if they enter those markets with something that people are going to be like, why the hell are you spending your time on that? But the mission is the mission, and it's important enough to do it. Great question. How do you weather crazy Tesla volatility? Um, yeah, I mean, it really comes down to how comfortable you are with your investment. If you're very comfortable with your investment, volatility should mean nothing. If you're not very comfortable with your investment, it may mean, and again, this is not advice, this is just my opinion. It may mean that you have too much in there, right? And that's a lesson that I learned earlier. Is like when I was very freaked out about like the Tesla volatility, it's because I just had too much in there, like, or I wasn't comfortable with the current situation with my financial place and how much I have in Tesla in relation to where I am financially. So for me, it's never a question as of late. It just is. And then if you have high confidence in the long term that Tesla is going to reach a certain goal that's much higher than where it is today, then short-term volatility literally means nothing. So that's how I think about it. Hi, question. Where do you think Tesla would be if it were treated fairly on mass media by politicians in terms of Tesla price, Tesla as a company, or it doesn't matter? Thanks. I don't think it matters. I almost think like in a weird way, for the long term, this helps them because the reason why the Tesla community exists is because part of it is because mass media was so unfair to them for so long. And that very passionate fan base, I think, is a direct result of that. So I think long term it might actually benefit them, to be completely honest. And it might start a movement around the truth. Like, what's the truth? Like, what are we actually doing here, guys? Like, what's happening, right? I think long term is going to have a lot of positive implications. Yeah, I think it helped them, to be completely honest. I think it helped them. It doesn't feel like that at the time, but I think long term, if you have a long enough time scale into the future, some things end up being good. And I think something like that we describe here, actually long term, I think is good. The bots will have sentry mode. No one will harm them, steal them without being trapped. Yeah, I mean, that's true. You would have the person's face recorded everywhere, but sometimes that doesn't stop people. But if the punishment is big enough, who knows? Does it make sense to have the same regulations for FSD beta and all other level 2 systems from a first principle standpoint? I'm not sure I fully understand your question, Steven. Does it make sense to have the same regulations for FSD beta and all other level 2 systems from a first principle standpoint? Okay. I see what you're saying. So comparing FSD beta to level 2, should we hold FSD to the same rigor as we do level 2 from a first principle standpoint? I think that's what you mean. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I think regulations are there to prevent something going wrong with a specific system. What's very interesting is I feel that the level 2 systems today seem way too loose from a safety perspective for a driver versus full self-driving beta. I think full self-driving beta is way better at being a safekeeping device for a human than level 2 systems. Because I saw some like YouTube videos of like whatever it's called, Cruise or whatever some of these companies have. Like they'll just like disengage without any warning, and like it's weird, right? So I don't know. I do think full self-driving beta is a completely different system, and the only reason it's going to become better is if we allow the data to be gathered through the inputs of the drivers and the drivers taking it out for testing, right? So no other level 2 system gets anywhere close to that. So perhaps we should, but making that happen at the government level is a completely different story, unfortunately. What do you think about Tesla bots being used to put solar tiles on roofs? Solves labor problem, dangerous jobs, true acceleration of mission. Yeah, I think what Elon says, that the Tesla bot is not part of their mission of accelerating the world to sustainable transport and energy consumption. I'm not quite sure I agree with him, which is a weird thing to say because it's literally his company and his mission. Because you could make the argument that the bot will enable them, like you said, to make those things faster. So I do think 100% they're going to be used in those scenarios. I think they're going to be used in a lot of scenarios when it comes to manufacturing or helping Tesla ramp up or accelerate their product roadmap. And if that's the case, then Tesla bot is 100% within that that scope of accelerating the world to sustainable transport and energy consumption. What are the things that can bring Tesla down? I actually have a video about this on my channel that you guys can check out. I have 6 big risks for the next few years, and yeah, you guys should check it out, or you should check it out, Crazy, when you get a chance. Robotaxi would probably be the big thing in India. Yeah, although I hear the traffic there is pretty wild, so it's gonna probably need a lot of data. Question: does Berlin have Tesla by the balls right now and purposely postponing? I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I just think the bureaucracy in some countries is such a big part of how they run things that stuff's just going to be slow, unfortunately. I don't think it's on purpose. I just think it's the culture. A lot of politicians saying Tesla hasn't paid taxes. It is proven that as they got 5.5 billion profit this time, that means they avoided tax. What would you say to them? You're wrong. Learn how to read a financial statement. Do you know anything about the Tesla app store rumors and when they might announce that? What kind of apps do you see work well in a Tesla? I think over time, the Tesla app store will definitely become a real thing. You know, if you have a big screen like that and you have the best software, one of the best software teams in the world, and, you know, people are going to be spending a number of minutes or hours in a car without having to drive, you would think that you want to provide some sort of entertainment in the car, and an app store would do that, right? So I think over time that would 100% become the case, but it won't really be a reality until we're close to a full self-driving future, like it actually becomes a thing. And so one of the things that are probably going to be a very big tell that we're extremely close is when that app store launches. And once it does, I think it tells us that Tesla is very confident that full self-driving is right around the corner. So if anything, it's going to be a leading indicator, I think. Rock and roll. I love it. I'm actually going to probably start playing guitar here in a couple minutes, guys. We're about an hour and a half in already. Freaking time flies in these things, man. I hope you guys are having fun. If you're having fun, let me know, because I'm having a blast. But yeah, I'm going to play guitar in a couple minutes. Speaking of rock and roll. Where do you think the next 1 or 2 Tera factories will be? If Tesla going into supply chains directly, would they even need another factory? I think the biggest continents that don't have one, or the biggest countries that don't have one, that have a lot of cars, probably make the most sense. So India would definitely make a lot of sense. Maybe another one in Europe at some point. If the Middle East, if it's a market that Tesla deems applicable, then probably somewhere in the Middle East. Probably another one in China at some point. I think India is probably going to be the next big obvious one, but we'll see. We'll see if that's the case. But they're going to need it. They won't be able to get to 20 million cars a year with the existing factories they have now. It just doesn't make any sense from a logistical standpoint. You don't want to be far away from localized production. As someone who got in with an average price of $965, do I just dollar cost average from here on out? Yeah, I'm not a financial expert. Only you can answer that question, Darby. I think the question you have to ask yourself is like, how long of a time horizon do you see for Tesla, and how confident are you in their future? And if you think that the price at that time is going to be higher than now, then it would make sense to buy. That's just how I think about it. But I'm not investment advice. What is Tesla's path to HVAC? I have ideas. Yeah, I think HVAC makes a lot of sense, and Tesla's talked about how having a very efficient HVAC would be very useful for, from an efficiency standpoint, because they'll use less batteries, less energy, and the solar battery relationship will be much better in conjunction with that. All right, a couple more, and then we'll do a little guess the riff game. How's that sound? To close it out? What do you guys think? I think I want to do it. How many factories do you think Tesla needs by 2030 in order to produce 20 million cars a year, considering Elon says that Tesla will become very good efficient in manufacturing, meaning less factories? Yeah. Let's assume that Giga Texas is able to make, like, once it's fully ramped and the $25,000 car is out, let's say Giga Texas, and they have 3,100 acres, which means that they can probably fit like 8 to 10 gigafactories on that site. I mean, you could make an argument that can probably do at least 5 million cars out of that area, depending on the specific, what kind of cars they have. So maybe 3 more. Who knows? Maybe 3 more if you just use that math. But it depends how much, what the cost. It depends how many units they ship and how much logistics costs and other localized costs would be saved if they were close to that area, right? So there's a lot of questions that go into it, but yeah, I hope that answered your question. How bullish are you on Dogecoin? I think if Tesla's behind, if Elon's behind it, I think it's bound to be successful at some point. I do own some, and it's a fun little thing, and I think eventually it might be a good transactional currency for us to use. Who knows? Okay, couple more. Yes, lots of fun here. Thank you. Okay, awesome, Marcus. Great to hear. Thank you. I'm having fun. Once Tesla gets the control problem figured out for the bot, they should challenge Boston Dynamics for a dance-off. That's a great idea. That'd be awesome. India and already on the way, Nigeria for a Gigafactory. I agree. Yeah, they have mentioned India quite a bit. Okay. Okay, we'll do the last one just because it's the last one here. I'm sure you answered this 100 times, but please, even a very short answer. Why did you leave Tesla? I am enjoying this live stream. Let's hear some Metallica. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I have a video on my channel that explains in detail why I left Tesla, but the short answer is that financial independence allowed me to pursue my passions, and I really want to do that. I really want to pursue my passions, and this YouTube thing has ended up being a passion, so I'm very thankful to have the time to do that. So, all right, guitar time. You guys ready? You guys ready? All right, let me get my guitar. When is a wireless charger pad going to happen? For the car? I don't know. If they have the bot around to plug the cars in, I don't think they'll ever have a use for wireless charger pads, but who knows? It all depends on what kind of efficiency they can get out of the wireless charging, you know? Can you play the Cliffs of Dover? No, not on guitar. I used to play clarinet back in high school. I was in freaking marching band. I'll play the clarinet. And I could play it on there, but not on guitar. I don't think I've ever learned it on guitar. Let me just plug in here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Plugged in. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear that guitar. Oh yeah, let me do that. There you go. Okay. So, we're going to play a little game of Guess That Riff. All right? So what I'm going to do, actually, I wrote down some riffs that I wanted to play. Because I was learning some riffs that I knew from before, and then I went back and practiced them a little bit. But don't expect anything amazing, okay, guys? Like, there's specific songs that I know how to play well. There's other ones that I'm just learning. But I should be able to play them good enough for you guys to kind of have an idea of what the riff is. Okay? All right. So, hold on. Let me make sure. One second, guys. This thing is weird on me right now. Okay. There we go. Yeah, this adapter thing on my unit is a little loose. So, okay, we're gonna start with the first one. Let's see if you guys can figure it out. All right, ready? Here we go. Oh, no. Hell yeah, hell's bells, baby. Hell's bells. What a sick riff, huh? Freaking dope. Yeah. All right. Here comes the next one. This next one, very popular. It's from a movie. Let's see if you guys can figure it out. And if you don't know what it is, I recommend watching the movie. Rocky. Eye of the Tiger. That's correct. Rambo. Eye of the Tiger, baby. Rocky. Yeah, Rocky's the movie. Eye of the Tiger is a song. It's by, oh my god, who the hell is the artist? Why am I blanking on the artist right now? Who does anybody know who made the song? Why am I blanking on Eye of the? I'm gonna have to look this up. Hey, yo, Adrian. Eye of the Tiger. Survivor. That's right. Thank you. Did I see the latest Sandy Monroe episode with the news about the screen? I did. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they what happens. What happens with that? Because they're probably gonna have to do a retrofit to make that screen work. You know. Okay. I played this one already. Let's see if you guys know what it is. Smoke on the Water, The Root Sandstorm. Yeah, that was definitely it. Smoke on the Water, classic. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's see if I remember how to play this one. Ready? 1, 2, 3. How's it go? I forget. Final countdown, you got it. Very good. Very, very good. These are like, these classics, man. A lot of people know them. Okay. Let's do something clean, yeah? Something with like a clean tone. For those that like a little bit cleaner guitar. You guys ready? Oh, yeah. Metallica, what's the song? Nothing Else Matters. Very good. Nice. Hell yeah. Classic. Okay. Ready for another one? This one I sometimes struggle with, but here you go. Let's see if you guys know this one. Sweet Child of Mine. Very good. They always come up with such great riffs. Freaking Guns N' Roses. Great, great guitars. Do I know any Audioslave? I don't actually, but I should learn. They're a classic, classic band. Okay. This one, if you're a metal fan, you've probably heard it. I'll give you a clue. The name of the band is Mastodon. I'm curious to see if you know the name of the song. Ready? Ah! Blood and Thunder, you got it. Very good. Nice. Good job, Marcel. Metal fan in the house. I like it. Stone Temple Pilots. I don't know Stone Temple Pilots, but I do like their stuff. Okay. Here's another classic. Band has been around for fricking ever. Let's see if you know it. Rolling Stones, good. What's the song? What's the song? I can't get no satisfaction. Yeah, Satisfaction. Nice. I can't get no satisfaction, baby. Great song. It's such a simple riff, you know? It's such a simple riff, but it's like so catchy. Okay, this one is one that I learned at the last minute because I really like the band. So it might be sloppy, like the other riffs that I played. But I'm curious to see if you know what this is. Another band from really popular back in the day. One of the best frontmen in the history of rock. No longer with us, but you should know this one. You should know this one. The band is Queen. What's the song? A lot of faces in the video, in the music video. A lot of memes. It is Queen. Song starts with a B. Bohemian Rhapsody. Yes. It's in the middle of the song, so it's a bit of a curveball, but you got it. Bicycle. That's funny. Okay. Bohemian Rhapsody. You guys got it. Nailed it. Okay. Here's another one. Another classic. Whoa. Okay, ready? Who's that one? Crazy Train, yes. Nice, Ozzy Osbourne. Actually, it is Black Sabbath, isn't it? Very good. Okay. Let's see if you guys know this one. This one is, again, a little bit more metal. It's around, song came out in the 80s, and it's, I'll give you a clue. It's from Metallica's bitter rival band from that time. Holy Wars, yes. It's such a hard riff to play sometimes, man. Especially when your hands are cold. The freaking room's cold and my right hand's cold. I'm also a little nervous. It doesn't help. Okay. Let's do one more, yeah? Last one? Here we go. Here we go. Maybe we'll do it from, okay, we'll do it from the rival band. Their most popular song ever. If you don't know this one, that's okay, but you should know it. Enter Sandman, Metallica. Nice. Yeah, when they play that song in Moscow, yeah, do that. They have a video. You guys got to go to, there's a video on YouTube, type Metallica, Enter Sandman, Moscow, 1991. There was like 1 million people there. Crazy. Have you played Electric Eye Riff? No, I haven't. There's also another song by Metallica that they played on that whatchamacallit, in Moscow. It's called Creeping Death. That's a freaking awesome riff as well from that concert. Killer. Of course, Doge. Thanks for stopping by, brother. I appreciate you stopping by. Okay. I'll play one more. Only because now I'm in the mood to play guitar. I'll play... Actually, look at this pick. Can you guys see this pick? Look at this. It's like bent a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. No wonder I was missing some of my strokes. It's the pick's fault. All right. Now that we're in the subject of... Okay, how many Metallica fans do we have in the house? I'm curious. AC/DC. Yeah, dude, I played some AC/DC already. Check this out. That's the only AC/DC, no. I know. I gotta learn more. I gotta learn more. I gotta learn more AC/DC. I gotta learn more a lot. Let's see. For all our... Oh, okay. Let me play one more. This is very obscure. Well, it's not obscure. It's obscure if you don't know metal. But if you do know metal, especially progressive metal, you may really enjoy this one. Okay? Here we go. I don't think anyone's gonna get that. And it wasn't the best clean playing on my end too, sorry guys. But that one is actually called Deliverance by Opeth. Oh, one of my favorite bands. Oh, Pantera. Is that how it goes? The Pantera walk? I have to figure out how to freaking play that song. Okay. Yeah, but I don't even think that's how it goes. Maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah? Okay. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it here. We've been at it for almost 2 hours. I got to bend it like crazy, huh? I got to practice it. Okay. Thank you guys very much. We'll call that there. Almost 2 hours. I'll figure out more riffs for next week's. I'm doing this every week, every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. We'll always start with a little bit of Tesla talks, and then we'll end it with some guitar riff playing. Thank you guys very much for all your support. Super enjoy you guys stopping by, dropping the comments. Always great questions. Love you guys. We'll catch you guys next week. I'll have a video out tomorrow. Probably going to do a studio tour so everybody can see all the things that I have in here, and I'll have a nice detailed list of the things that I have. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Love you guys. Mwah. Have a good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Haha. Bye-bye.